What is such a blur? Oh, Alkendown is good. Shadowmoon Burial Grounds. Grimrail Depot is terrible. Iron Docks is very good. They remade Upper Blackrock Spire. Oh, did you have to fight that lady on a platform at the end? Yeah, I do remember this. Yeah. Grimrail is literally just a corridor. Like, I really hoped for so much more. So much more. Everbloom is good. Yeah, WoD had pretty good dungeons. WoD had pretty good stuff. Skyreach is okay. Like, it was just annoying when people couldn't get around the circle. Like, just slowing the group down is always annoying. Slag Mines was decent enough. Alkendown was great. Yeah, with a nice demon fight at the end. I liked that dungeon a lot. Overall, I'd say I would give WoD on its dungeons a B+. If not an A. It was only Grimrail I didn't particularly enjoy, even taking into account the harder styles. Yeah, I think WoD gets an A for its dungeons. For sure. Bad, good, bad, good, amazing. All three of the... Yeah, these were all good. Blood Furnace, bad. Black Morass, bad. Shadow Labs, good. Sethek Hall's really bad. Old Hillsbrad Foothills, bad. Manitomb's bad. Magister's Terrace, Ramparts, couldn't care less. Ashani, Arcanine Crypts. Overall, I think TBC is a B. I think TBC is a B. Black Morass was not fun. It was tolerable. I don't hate it as much as some people here, but I think it was okay. It was okay. Like, there was something satisfying in beating it. I think me and Nupss, when me and Nupss beat it, we were, like, really pleased. Our group killed it first, if I remember, Nupss. Although I had to play somebody else's account to tank it. Account sharing happened in the Verdict Crusade. I had to play somebody else's warrior to tank it. Nupss probably remembers. I had to play somebody else's tank because they couldn't get through it. Our group got through it. It was pretty good. Our group got it done. It was good. Wrath of the Lich King. All right. We're skimming. Arnket, A+. Arnket's a great dungeon. It's a shame it's shit on. Ajol Darub, D-. Absolutely fucking awful. In fact, F. F tier. Ajol Darub, awful. Draktharen Keep, B. Gundrak, B. Halls of Lightning, B+. It's not an A. Halls of Reflection, D. Halls of Stone, C. Pit of Sauron, A. Culling of Stratholme, C. I liked going back to Stratholme. The dungeon gameplay was terrible. Forge of Souls, A. Nexus, A. Oculus, A. Violet Hold, F. Trial of the Champion, C tier when fixed. Utgard Keep, A. Utgard Pinnacle, A. Overall, B+ for Wrath of the Lich King. Overall, B+. You guys kill my fucking soul, right? FF dudes. The Oculus is a dungeon so notorious that Blizzard had to add special extra rewards if you randomly... Because you could do random heroic, right? You would choose one of the dungeons. And everybody would immediately leave the Oculus if they got it. And so they had to add in massive bonuses if you would just finish the dungeon to get people to do it. And this was the fastest dungeon of them all. You know why people couldn't do it? You had to fly a dragon. And it had a couple of buttons. And people just couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. You could even solo the last boss if you were, like, capable with it. It did not suck. It was so good. The Oculus was my favorite dungeon. It was so fast. Absolutely amazing. I love the Oculus. It was so fucking good. It was really fast. It was super simple. You literally flew from trash to trash on different islands, cleared them, and were done. Garbo. Cataclysm. Caverns, B. Remade Deadmines, B. End Time, C. If it wasn't for everybody fucking cooming their pants over that stupid reset all your cooldowns mechanic, this place is terrible. Grimbatal, B. Halls of Origination. I can't even... Oh! You know what? This is A tier. But no one ever did all these bosses, and it's a real shame. Yeah, I remember when we on the first day of Cataclysm launch, we had to go in here. You couldn't queue for it because our gear level was too low. And this was our favorite dungeon. And then the next week we did the, what's it called? The achievement run, Glory. And this dungeon was sick. One of these bosses needs to be killed so quickly, and we had no gear. We had to do all sorts of crazy shit to get it done. Well, good. Origination, A, if not S. Hour of Twilight, B. Tol Dagor, A tier. I think Tol Dagor was a great dungeon. Shadowfang Keep remake, I can't even remember what the remake is like, so pass. Stonecore, A tier. This dungeon made so many people quit the game. Because they couldn't press fucking kick. I would even argue in some respects, my entire channel and online presence originated from this dungeon. And nearly every guide I did in Stonecore on classes was... every class guide I did in Cata, for the most part, was done in Stonecore. I do want some
fratty toes. Oh, fratty toes.
Break yourself upon my body, peasants.
I did nearly all of them in Stonecore, because it was so easy to not destroy yourselves. Vortex Pinnacle, D. Hate this dungeon. Hate this dungeon. Throne of Tides, A tier if you do it all correctly. Well of Eternity, B. Good thematic stuff. Gameplay I thought was kind of shite. I give it like a B. Zul'Aman and Zul'Grub remakes. I can't even remember them. I only remember the OG versions because I've got that boomer brain. Gate of the Setting Sun. A tier. A tier. Scarlet Halls remake. Scarlet Monastery remake. B+, B+, B+. Shadowpan Monastery, A tier. Siege of Nizhao, A tier. The Brewery, A tier. Temple of Jade Sermon, A tier. I consider Abyss of Pandaria one of the all-round best dungeon expansions. Kept it small, kept it good, gave you challenge modes. All of them pretty fucking top tier. Nothing that, like, broke the mold. Nothing that was, like, S tier, but everything just really solid. Just overall super, super solid. 9 really good quality dungeons. Really interesting bosses. Great environments. Nice silly things like the fucking stairs moving. Fun mechanics on the last boss, especially in Moghasham Palace, where you could do all sorts of funky shit to help with the boss. Yeah, I consider Abyss of Pandaria just like an all-round solid. I don't think it did anything in the dungeon world that was exceptional, but it did nothing bad either. Like, really just good all-round. Whatever you queued into, you were in pretty good shape. Mop was pretty solid. Legion. No. F. Why? Why the fuck did you bring back Violet Hold? What in the fuck were you thinking? F tier. Absolute F tier. Blackrock. A. Cathedral. What's your gauge on Cathedral? What's your gauge on Cathedral? Cathedral's a mixed bag because it did launch in a ridiculous state. Thematically, A, yeah. It did launch in the most ludicrous state. I'm not sure how many times that place got nerfed. And I remember that originally they blamed it on the fact that you'd been farming the other dungeons. And this was a new dungeon. So you had to relearn. Like, we wiped that many times in the original dungeons. Like, absolutely not. I think it's a D. Like, I don't think even when it was working correctly. The last boss is really nice. I liked the shield shit. That was cool. But still it's a C. Court of Stars, S tier. Does anybody disagree with me that Court of Stars is an S tier dungeon? I think Court of Stars is a straight S tier dungeon. Great storytelling, lots of fun things, choices to make, different routes. They threw in all the profession stuff to make it different and interesting. Just wonderful little twists and turns. Yeah, it gave it all these different buffs. You didn't need them, but it gave you some options. I think it's much better with an... I'll be honest, though. I think having an add-on solve the ending for you is way better than individually checking it. Like... I hate doing that. I do want
some fratty toes. Oh, fratty toes.
I have done it manually
Maw of
many,
Souls
many
F tier,
times.
Fuck farming it 400 times
we'll
to
get
be
there.
up to date on your weapon to get into the raid.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think most of the Legion dungeons are a bit marred by M+ and how you needed to play early expansion.
Yeah, you have to discount the legendary thing, I think, to gauge the dungeon of itself. Dark Heart, A. Eye of Ashara, A. I think Eye of Ashara is solid. Halls of Valor. I love this place. It's not quite S tier, but I think Halls of Valor is great. It's really, it's like A+. It's almost S tier. I don't think it's quite Court of Stars, but it's quite up there. If it had some of the, like, the profession stuff and more choices to make, I think it would be up there. But I give it like an AA+. Love the environment. Bosses are cool. It's just very static, right? It's got a very linear feel to it. You've got one somewhat open area, but it really just depends on when Fenrir runs. Maw of Souls. Let me gauge the chat on this for those who were there. I imagine our FF boys weren't really around, or some of them won't, who aren't refugees. Now we see all the people who really got their Legos. I think it's A++. It's right on the cusp of being S. It does lose points for being extraordinarily linear. It is very, very linear, but it's super small, super fast, super compact. And every pull you do in Maw of Souls is fun. You have that enormous giga pull at the first boss where you can pull, if you've got the DPS for it, you can pull everything onto that first boss without being a coordinated MDI group. And you just fucking extraordinarily blow it up. The boat is really fun. The third boss, the tentacle boss is fun as well, the Kraken. Yeah, lusting, and I mean, I was a fire mage, right? So give me that on that fire mage, just opening up on that. Oh, I used to dream about it. But I will also say this. I did not farm Maw of Souls for my legendaries. I've never enjoyed just repeat farming the same content. You've seen that a million times on my channel. I don't do it. And I didn't do it then either. I did a mix of dungeons. I did LFR. I did any other content I could to get legendaries rather than just sit endlessly in Maw of Souls. Because I knew I'd burn out. I knew I just wouldn't enjoy the game and I wasn't going to play it. But yes, I think as a dungeon, removing that aspect of it, A++. Really quite up there, but it is super linear. There's not much choice in it, but solid all around. Neltharion's Lair, B. Return to Karazhan. Which, of course, leads into two dungeons, upper and lower. I think the overall is kind of S tier. Like, the overall mega dungeon of Return to Karazhan, I had an absolute blast with. I loved it. I loved how silly they got with it. You know, we start off in an opera hall and we end up in space. Like, it's so fun. It's just, it felt like the devs finally having some real good fun with dungeons. Really like that. Mythic Plus, though. If we divide it in half... Is it fair that your dungeons are decided on whether it's tyrannical or fortified? Kind of B tier. Some weeks they're free, and some weeks they're one of the hardest dungeons in the world. Like... And they're just not fun. I didn't find them fun in their mythic. I will say this. I think the overall
Legion
is S tier.
Nightmare was a great raid though. Legion had great dungeons and raids.
All right, coming to you guys again, same as Cathedral. What did you think of Seat of the Triumvirate? What did you think of this? Notorious for being the the dungeon that had 200 plus deaths in the MDI. I don't know if anybody remembered that in the MDI. They added Seat of the Triumvirate and nobody practiced it, and they just were wiped out completely. Pass. Fun but too hard in Mythic Plus. Yeah, a tough one. It's a tough dungeon. But also, if you could do it right, it was good. I give this like a B. I give this a B. It was okay. Not great. Archway, A. Archway was pretty good. Vault of the Wardens. I don't remember this one. Which one was Vault of the Wardens? Cordana Fellsong. The fuck? She Shadow Step, Creeping Doom, Avatar of Vengeance. I know I've been in this dungeon probably 150 times. I should just ask myself.
With weak bosses. Oh,
it's this one where you do the circle. Oh. Yeah. Wait, am I healing? Oh! This is when I had to use random names so he wouldn't know it was me. And Sko and Potter from Methods were... Like, Ish is in this one, right? Is it Ish or someone? Can't remember. And Skull Potter started giving the group a load of shit, not knowing I was there. They started, like, slagging off for members of the group for doing things. They didn't give me any shit. Yeah, like, 2 people made a couple of little mistakes, and fucking Potter's popping off and Sko's tagging. I just queued with them randomly into a dungeon and fucking messaged them afterwards like, you pair of dickheads. And they were like, what? I was like, I was the Shadow Priest. And they were like, you motherfucker. Like, yeah. This dungeon's A tier, right? That's an A tier dungeon. Yeah. Yeah, that's an A tier. Oh, overall, Legion pretty good. I'm surprised, actually. I don't remember Legion being that good in terms of its dungeons, but actually, like, tip top. Only bummer was Violet Hold, I think. Yeah. Violet Hold and Cathedral. I know Cathedral was the dungeon that cost me my sanity during the Pug Life video series that we did. I think I got the key up to, like 12, and then I had to lower it to 8 to get rid of my Cathedral key. Because people just would not do Cathedral. Is it 8 or something? I think I ended up with a 12 key and it rolled into Cathedral and nobody could do it. It was impossible. Yeah, it was impossible. I just kept having to lower the key until it was free. Yeah. I had no choice. It was really sad. People just could not do Cathedral. It was done. Okay, not bad. This has been really fun, actually. I love Memory Lane. BFA. S plus at Aldazar, Freehold S, King's Rest A, Operation Mechagon as an overall. It's not Karazhan. It's good. Karazhan is better. I think this is an A tier. The last boss is fantastic. It's a solid A. It's not Karazhan. It's good, though. I was really disappointed in this dungeon because we were supposed to be going to Mechagon City, and it's very, very linear. And it's kind of like an FF-style one, where you see all this shit going on over there, but you're not a part of it. You've got to stay on here. You've got to stay here. Yeah, Mechagon, a solid A. Shrine of the Storm. C tier. Hate this dungeon. Almost D. Not a fan. Absolutely not a fan. Yeah, I think that dungeon was fucking garbo. Yeah, okay, you guys agree with me on that? Alright, that's not controversial. Cool. Yeah, I think that dungeon's fucking terrible. Siege of Boralus, B. Siege is okay. It's alright. I didn't like the boss with the jumping backwards and forwards and you gotta wait for it. I think it's a B. It's alright. Yeah. The only boss I hate the last boss running around doing the tentacle stuff and shooting the cannon. I didn't think that paid off. I think it was a good idea on paper that didn't really work out. The boss I really like on there is the second to last boss. Hadal, Dark Fathom, with the waves coming across and all that kind of stuff. A lot of positioning stuff to do there. A lot of control. That boss I think is really good, but Siege overall I think is a B. Temple of Snacks. Contained 2 puzzles which drove people fucking batshit crazy. You could either do it really, really fast or it definitely snowballed very, very quickly. You had the puzzle to run through and then the basketball at the end. D. Yeah, and then sometimes it would just break and wouldn't work. This is the dungeon that in the preview on YouTube I said probably is going to be the fucking nightmare, and it did turn out to be the nightmare. I think it's a C tier. I think if a dungeon is only good if your group is really, really coordinated heavily, is not a great overall dungeon. Yeah, I think it's a C tier dungeon. If it works well, it works well, but God, that thing goes bad. And when it goes bad, it's just frustrating and not fun. You're just annoyed. Especially when mobs start respawning with the basketball and shit like that. Like, it's just fucking annoying. Motherlode. This might be a controversial one. C tier. I hate this dungeon. I was so excited for this dungeon, and I just don't think it's particularly fun. I don't like it. I like Coin Operator. I think Coin Operator is fun. It starts with a big fucking donut that's just all trash. Loads of fucking trash. And then they have a lot of very annoying mobs later on that you can't really get unless you're very coordinated in a, you know, like a guild group or whatever, you can't get a good motion going. This Rick's, the trash after, the trash between these two, it had them enemies that could just wipe you. The mind thingies. And then you have this chick out on the platform and just avoid the goo. Then avoiding the mines. I thought Mogul was kind of cool. Mogul was okay. But, yeah, Motherlode. I expected a great amount. Considering it was, like, goblin themed, I thought, wow, this dungeon's going to be so fun. Like a full goblin themed dungeon. And I just didn't find it fun at all. Underrot. B for me. Alright. I don't hate it. Don't love it either. Yeah, B. Tol Dagor. A tier. I love Tol Dagor. I think it's really cool. I know it's got like some of the jankiest bullshit you've ever seen in the game. Heresy. I really like Tol Dagor. I like it. I like that you could use like blacksmithing keys to open extra gates and get in. Hard F. I always had fun in here. I think Loz might have made this fun for me because he was like, we pull more, and then suddenly some shit would come from upstairs and all sorts of random nonsense. I'm going to actually change that. It's B tier. I think the last boss is horribly designed. Yeah, I'm going to actually downgrade it from A to B. I always have fun in here, but the last boss I think is horribly designed. Tucking yourself and wedging yourself in a wall and doing all that kind of shit. Yeah, the last boss is just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll download to B. And Waycrest Manor S tier. Absolute S tier. Fat Boy. I love Fat Boy. Fat Boy's so good. I think the weakest boss in here is actually Gorak Tool. I think Gorak Tool's the lamest boss in there, but everything else is so good. The Triad, the Goliath, Big Chunker, Big Slobby. You can always call him Crusher before surgery, right? We always call that boy... Can always call that boy Crusher. So good. Gonna get you. Gonna get you. Overall, BFA was a mixed bag. Or overall B tier, I think. I mean, it has some it has two of the best dungeons I think they've ever made. Like, Waycrest and the Tal Dagor are in this mix, but it's in there with some right shite. That is like one of them Harry Potter Bertie Bots beans, where you can get a fucking really nice strawberry one, or sometimes you're gonna get vomit. Like, that's rough. That's really rough. Oh god, Shadowlands. A tier, other side. Right, A tier. Other side was good. Other side was fucking baller. Other side was super fun. It was. It was a great fun boss. Great fun bosses. Trash was really interesting. Contained a ton of different biomes. Like it a lot. Halls of Atonement. I really like this one. I think this is A tier as well. I love the last boss with just dodging the pillars. The rituals, the sacrifices that are going on. Can we kill that guy before he spawns all the dude? I think Halls of Atonement's top tier. Mist of Turn Aside. I think it's A or B. Purely because having the respawn points dictated by a fucking... Not profession, faction or whatever the fuck, renowned people. Otherwise, it was just giga annoying. Does it lose even more points for the maze? I think it does. When that maze started going wrong, the heart rate of every player starts going through the roof. Yeah, I mean, I remember now that we used to have a big add-on, didn't we? That, like, tracked where it was supposed to be. And I remember having to just go and stand next to them and just, yeah. Yeah, not fun. Not fun. I think it's a C tier, which is a real shame because overall, I thought the bosses were really fun. Mistcaller's really fun. Ingra's really fun. Tredova was kind of fun. I think the bosses were great. It was just everything else in between it. Plaguefall. B. I think B's fair. I think B's pretty fair. I think the best bosses are the first two. Don't really like the spider. Really don't like the last boss, just running in circles all the time. I never really liked Margrave. I think I thought Globgrog was really fun. Lots of things you could do there, especially on Tyrannical. Like a lot of coordination with routing things and what you could get away with. Dr. Icarus I always liked with his jumping around. Trash is okay. Anything fun about that trash, really? Not really. At least you have plenty of routes, things to choose. Sanguine Depths. I think people are going to be really torn on Sanguine Depths. I think this is middling. Yeah, it's a mix. I think this is either an F or an S in your minds. I'm going to go with a B for Sanguine Depths. I think it's got highs and lows. And that's what sort of drags it down. It's not an overall package. It's got highs and lows. I really like the last boss. Don't particularly enjoy Brillia. The Jailer boss, I'm not a big fan of that either, but I did like the first boss. I didn't like either of these bosses. I always thought the environment was great, though. I liked the gauntlet moving towards the end. Sanguine Depths, yeah, just overall middle. Spires of Ascension. Okay, well, I'm going to go with my gut instinct, which is a B. I'm trying to think of anything interesting or that I hate about it, and I don't, so that's a B tier for me. It's alright. That's all I can really say about it. It was okay. It's beautiful. Like, the environment's great. None of the particular bosses I enjoy. Yeah, it's fine. Tazavesh. The overall, S tier. Again, yeah, this is different. This is like Karazhan. The overall, I think, is S tier. I really, really, really enjoyed this. Every boss was creative in some way. This with, like, throwing the weapons, trapping people. The menagerie had all the different elements that overlapped. Mailroom mayhem. You're throwing posts and bombs and blowing up the post office. Really fun. The teleporter when it worked. Right? The teleporter was good when it worked. All these were great. In fact, the only disappointing boss in here was Time Captain Hooktail. I expected a lot more from a dragon in a pirate hat. And, yeah, it was kind of the shittest boss, in my opinion. Kind of the shittest boss. You missed this one. It's well worth going back and having a look at this boss. Like, this dungeon. It was very, very fun. I don't know, but I don't know how they fucked it up, but it just wasn't super interesting. Like, I was so excited for him. The last boss is amazing. Yeah, Celia is absolutely amazing. So good. Mythic Plus, though, I think overall, like, A's? I don't remember ever disliking Mythic Plus in here. Besides the trash between the Menagerie and Mailroom Mayhem, which could be a little annoying. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good mix on... I mean, the only time it could be real problem was, like, fortified with all the Murlocs.
Love,
you were going towards Hillbrand.
Nice face you have there, smile.
Thanks, man. That was it, really. If you pulled every Murloc in the world and didn't, like, kill the healers, then it could be a bit of a problem. Yeah, maybe. Necrotic Wake. Yeah, Shadowlands is where, you know, people started drifting for sure. Necrotic Wake, I give it A. A to S. Like, Necrotic Wake is great. Yeah, I give this an A to S. Like, it's good. It's good. Lots of different routes. All the bosses are cool. Lots of optional mini-bosses you could do or not do. Yeah, it's pretty top tier, this. You got, especially pre-nerf, where all the weapons did absolutely ludicrous stuff. You could pull off some absolutely manic shit in here. With those spears. Like, a person with the spear could really pull off some crazy shit. If it went wrong, it went badly wrong. But other than that, this was fun. I liked coordinating the weapons. F. F like a motherfucker. I hate this place. F like a motherfucker. Absolutely detested the Theatre of Pain. Instant F. Really disliked it. Is there... I don't know the exact numbers because I never used like the tool to plan the trash, but I think you can only skip like 4 trash packs in this dungeon or something. Like, it's just so... Ugh. It's just so linear. So linear. No choices. You kind of just got to deal with it regardless of the affixes. It's all the same. The most interesting boss in there just never really worked. Because nobody would, like, genuinely... I mean, sometimes people would kill each other, but... Is it Zav who did it? Yeah, Blood and Glory. Like, you would just... Like, the whole fun boss, which was Zav, was pointless. You just got out of there as quickly as possible so you could just get back to the fight, and it was just like, ugh. I would struggle with the FF dungeons, I think, because I'd have to remember what each one of them do. Yeah, you just stopped attacking and let someone kill you who you wanted to give the damage bonus to. Real shame. Real shame. Kind of a bummer. And these are still remain to be seen, although I'd really dislike Ruby life pools. If you were a loser. If you're a loser. Like, so bad. So bad. Yeah, this remains to be seen yet. Not over yet. It's not really cool if the damage you did to each other transferred to the boss. There were so many options for making that way more fun, and they just never materialized. They just chucked in the PvP thing and were like, okay. Have fun. And you're like, okay. Well, this isn't particularly fun. Oh, Dragonflight is way better than Shadowlands. Way better. Yeah, Door of the Infinite, I think, is an S. I think it'll be high. All their mega dungeons, I mean, their weakest mega dungeon, I think, is Mechagon at this point. Morchi will go down in history for sure.